Right now, two archetypes of men coexist in the world. The first is the one whose name evaporates from a woman's memory before he even walks through the door. The second is the type of man who haunts her thoughts at 3 in the morning as she scrolls through his photos, wondering about his moves and dreading that he'll find someone superior. And here is the uncomfortable truth that will tie your stomach in knots. You most likely belong to the first group and have lived this reality your entire existence. However, today, I will reveal the exact path to transform yourself into the man women are terrified to lose. The man who settles in their minds without needing to pay rent. The man who drives them to act in ways they never have before. The vast majority of you will consume this entire video, absorb every word, and yet remain inert, doing absolutely nothing. This happens because true change requires an attribute that most men simply do not possess: the ability to make decisions quickly and definitively. Let me share an experience from last week. I was in a coffee shop, watching a scene unfold. There was a guy, around 28, good-looking, well-dressed, sitting with a stunning woman. She, however, spent the whole time on her phone. He struggled to engage in conversation, receiving only monosyllabic replies. Every time he leaned forward, she leaned back. He was investing everything. She, absolutely nothing. And as I watched, I thought, my friend, her decision about you was made 6 months ago, and you're still insisting on trying to convince her. It was at that moment that reality hit me. That man was going to waste another 180 days of his life until she finally left him for someone who knew the right time to walk away. Understand, with each passing year, the abyss deepens. The division between men who succeed with women and those who fail is becoming an impassable canyon. On one side, you find men with a range of options, with women competing for their attention, dictating the terms of their relationships. On the other, men begging for crumbs of attention, being rejected consecutively, questioning what's wrong with them, and this gap only widens. Soon, there will be no room for a middle ground. You're either at the top, or you're completely invisible. The fundamental distinction between these two groups lies not in appearance, money, or even self-confidence. It lies in a single, simple quality: the ability to make quick decisions. That's it. That's the great secret. The man who decides in seconds what others take months to ponder. The man who walks away when others cling in desperation. The man who executes while others merely analyze. This is the man women fear losing. Listen closely. When a man reaches 30 or 35, the average individual has had perhaps 5 relationships, a few short-term flings, and irrelevant encounters. And he convinces himself this is the norm. It's like this for everyone, he repeats to himself. But this is a dangerous fallacy. While he has accumulated 5 mediocre experiences where he was abandoned, other men have lived through 50 situations where they were the ones who decided to end it. While he only learned how to get hurt, other men learned how to become irreplaceable. What truly sabotages most men from the beginning is learned helplessness, a condition that sets in during adolescence when girls show interest in older guys, when you're ignored in school, when you always see the same 5 guys monopolizing all the attention. You learn to suppress your desires. You learn to suffocate your wants. You learn that wanting something and not having it is painful. So you simply stop wanting. You stop approaching. You stop trying. You just exist, wait, and hope, like a plant in the desert waiting for rain. I want you to reflect on your last relationship, the one where she left you. Be brutally honest. At what point did you notice the first signs that she was drifting away? When did the first major conflict occur? When did the attraction start to fade? I'll tell you exactly when. Approximately 6 months before she actually left. That's equivalent to 180 days. 180 days during which you noticed the signs, felt the distance, knew something was fundamentally wrong and did absolutely nothing. You were unable to make the decision to leave first. You were unable to make the decision to confront the problem head on. You just waited, hoped, and endured. You know what's most ironic? If you had made the decision to walk away the very moment you felt her distancing herself, not only would there have been a high probability of her coming running back, but even if she didn't, you would have saved yourself 180 days of agony, 180 days of your self-esteem dwindling, 180 days of new opportunities with other women. Allow me to put this into a clear perspective. Imagine two columns. Column 1, the average man, incapable of making decisions. Column 2, the man of quick decisions. The one in column 1 feels there are problems in the relationship but remains inert. He waits, hoping the situation will magically resolve itself. For 180 days, he lives in relationship purgatory. During this period, if he were single and active on dating apps, even in a small city, he could have started 5 new conversations a day. That totals 35 a week, over 100 a month. In 6 months, that's 600 opportunities, 600 conversations, 600 chances to find someone superior. Instead, he wastes it all, clinging to someone who has already left him behind. Now, column 2, the instant he perceives disinterest, he withdraws. No discussions, no pleading, no, let's try to fix it. He's gone. In those same 180 days, he's having those 600 conversations. He's accumulating experience. He's building a range of options. He's becoming more attractive through practice and abundance. When the first guy is finally discarded, this second one doesn't even remember the ex's name anymore. But this is where the situation drastically worsens for the man in column 1. After being left, he is devastated. His confidence is in ruins. His self-esteem in tatters. He needs months to recover and find himself before even considering dating again. Therefore, add another 180 days of inactivity. This represents an entire year of his life, thrown away on a mediocre relationship that was clinically dead for 6 months. The man in column 2, on the other hand, has been building continuous momentum in those same 365 days. He isn't healing from any wound, because he never allowed the wound to be inflicted. He left before the damage became irreversible. He has been growing stronger, more experienced, and more attractive with each passing day, while the other man only grew weaker. You see, most men believe that inaction is a form of safety. If I don't make any sudden moves, if I don't rock the boat, maybe things will sort themselves out. This is analogous to having a cavity and avoiding the dentist out of fear. You know the situation is getting worse. You know that ignoring the problem won't make it disappear. You know that, eventually, the pain will become unbearable. But today, in this moment, you can pretend it's not there. So, you do nothing. And what could have been resolved with a simple filling turns into a root canal, an extraction, excruciating pain, and a very high financial and emotional cost. This is exactly what happens in relationships. What could have been a clean and dignified breakup turns into a devastating demolition of your entire sense of self. Because every day you remain in a relationship where you are not valued, where you are not desired, where you are, at best, tolerated. You are conditioning yourself to believe that this is what you deserve. You are training yourself to accept crumbs. You're becoming less attractive with every second. Listen, there's something I need to tell you that no one else will have the courage to say. The moment you tolerate disrespect, you have already lost. And not just the relationship, you have lost yourself. Because that act of accepting less than you deserve crystallizes into a pattern. That pattern turns into a habit. That habit becomes your identity. And suddenly, you are the guy who feels grateful for crumbs, grateful for minimal effort, elated when she finally answers your message after 3 days of silence. I coached a client last year, a hugely successful entrepreneur who built his company from scratch. In the business world, he was a ruthless decision maker. He would fire underperforming employees without hesitation, cut unsuccessful product lines instantly. But with women, he was a completely different person. His girlfriend would disappear for days, return with flimsy excuses, and he would simply accept it. I asked him, If one of your employees treated your time with such disregard, what would you do? He replied, I would fire him on the spot. So, I asked, why is your love life worth less than your company? He had no answer. This is the sickness. Men who are titans in all areas of their lives, except in relationships. Now, let's discuss what happens when you develop this muscle of quick decision-making. When you start making immediate decisions based on your instincts, your standards, and your boundaries, magic happens. But not the kind of magic you imagine. The real magic is that you begin to accumulate experience at a speed that other men can't even conceive of. Think about learning to drive. The more you practice, the better you become. Think about the gym. The more you train, the stronger you get. But relationships don't work that way for most men. Most men live the same relationship over and over. They meet a girl, put her on a pedestal, lose themselves trying to keep her, get dumped, heal, and repeat the cycle. They never evolve because they never change their approach. They are not gaining experience. They are reliving trauma. But the man who makes quick decisions, every interaction teaches him something new. Every conversation hones his skills. Every relationship, however brief, expands his understanding. He is not having the same experience 5 times. He is having 500 distinct experiences, and each one of them makes him more powerful. Here's what nobody tells you. Society will hate you for this. People will label you a player, selfish, someone with a fear of commitment. Your friends will say you're too picky. The women you reject will say you have emotional issues. Everyone will have an opinion on how you should lower your standards, give people more chances, work on relationships. They want you to be like them, stagnant, settled, afraid. I had a friend, a successful guy making great money. He meets a girl, she's beautiful, but the red flags are everywhere. A party girl past, a circle of male friends, a constant need for attention. I advised him to walk away. He said I was being judgmental. 3 years later, she cheats on him with his business partner. He lost his girlfriend and his company. He came to me, broken, and admitted, "You were right." Of course I was right. The signs were there from day one. But he was unable to make the quick decision to leave because society convinced him to give her a chance. Society wants you weak. It wants you to accept whatever comes your way. It wants you to be grateful for crumbs. Because when you start making quick decisions, when you start walking away from toxic situations, when you start demanding something better, you expose the mediocrity of others. You force them to question their own acceptance of the insufficient. Think about this. There are men right now in relationships where they are disrespected daily, where their partners openly flirt with others, where they are treated as a walking ATM or a convenient emotional support, and they know it's wrong. They feel it in their bones, but they stay because it's what you're supposed to do. Because relationships take work. Because nobody's perfect. They are dying inside, but at least they're not alone, right? Wrong. Being with the wrong person is the deepest form of loneliness in the world. It is infinitely worse than being single. Because when you are single, at least you have hope. When you are with the wrong person, you have neither love nor hope. You are just existing in this limbo, this relationship purgatory, too afraid to leave, too miserable to stay. But here's what happens. When you become the man of quick decisions, you become magnetic. Women sense this instantly. They feel that you are not desperate, that you have options, that you will not tolerate the slightest sign of disrespect. And suddenly, as if by magic, they start treating you completely differently. The same woman who once treated you with indifference now makes a point of cooking for you. The same woman who made you wait now actively seeks you out. The same woman who would leave you without a second thought now lives in fear of losing you. I have witnessed this transformation hundreds of times. A man comes to me, broken, talking about the ex who treated him like dirt. 6 months later, after learning the art of the quick decision, he has 3 women competing for his attention. A year later, his ex is sending him messages begging for a second chance. But by then, he can barely remember why he ever wanted her. Because here's the truth about quick decisions. They compound. Each quick decision makes the next one easier. Every time you walk away from disrespect, you build self-respect. Every time you choose yourself over someone else, you become more valuable. It is exponential growth versus linear decay. Let me give you a practical example. You match with a girl online. The conversation flows, it seems promising. You invite her for coffee. She replies that she's busy this week. Maybe next week. The old you would wait. You would continue to text. You would try to build a connection. You would waste 2 weeks of your life on someone who doesn't show enough interest to set aside an hour for you. The new you, the moment she says maybe next week, is already gone. Unmatched. Contact deleted. Next. Because if she is not excited to meet you now, she never will be. And in those 2 weeks you would have wasted, you have already had 5 other dates. You have already found someone who rearranged her schedule to see you. You are already living while the old you would still be waiting. This is what I mean by quick decisions. It's not about being impulsive or reckless. It's about recognizing patterns and acting immediately. She takes 24 hours to reply to your message? Decision made. Her interest is not sufficient. She cancels a date at the last minute? Decision made. She doesn't respect your time. She constantly mentions her ex? Decision made. She's not over him. No deep analysis. No excuses. No second chances. Just decisions and action. Do you know what the biggest excuse I hear is? What if I'm wrong? What if she was really busy? What if I'm throwing away something good? Listen very carefully. You are not throwing away anything good. Good relationships do not start with flimsy excuses. Good relationships do not require you to lower your standards. Good relationships do not make you question your own worth. And even if, by some remote chance, you are wrong, so what? There are literally billions of women on this planet. Do you really believe that this mediocre girl who can't text you back is your soulmate? Do you believe that this woman who makes you feel bad about yourself is your only chance at love? That is a scarcity mindset, and it is annihilating your attractiveness. The man who makes quick decisions operates from a mindset of abundance. He knows that for every woman who does not meet his criteria, there are 10 others who will. He knows that his time is his most precious asset. He knows that his attention is a gift, not an entitlement. And women feel this from across the room. Want to know something that will blow your mind? Women actually want you to have high standards. They want you to be selective. They want to feel that they have earned your attention, not that you are desperate for anyone who gives you the slightest chance. When you make quick decisions, when you walk away easily, you are demonstrating immense value. You are showing that you have other options. You are proving that you don't need them. And paradoxically, that is what makes them need you. I remember a woman I dated a few years ago. Beautiful, successful, used to having men at her feet. On our first date, she arrived 20 minutes late. No apology, just expecting me to be there, waiting patiently. Do you know what I did? I left after 10 minutes. She called me furious. "Where are you?" I said. "I don't wait more than 10 minutes for anyone. If you can't respect my time, we are not compatible." She was in shock. No one had ever done that to her. She apologized profusely, begged for another chance, and for the next date she showed up 15 minutes early. Why? Because I demonstrated through actions, not words, that my time had value. This is the crucial point. Quick decisions are not just about leaving bad situations. They are about establishing your value from the very first second. They are about setting the frame that you are the prize, not her. They are about creating the dynamic where she strives to keep you, and not the other way around. But here is the harsh reality. Most of you watching this will never change. You will nod your heads, maybe take some notes, feel motivated for about 5 minutes, and then you will go straight back to your old destructive patterns. You will keep waiting for her to send that text. You will keep accepting disrespect. You will keep making excuses for not walking away, because change is terrifying, and you prefer to deal with a familiar pain than to face an unknown possibility. I see. This every day. Men come to me after the 5th breakup, the 2nd divorce, the 100th rejection. They are looking for the magic pill, the secret technique, the infallible trick. But when I tell them that the answer is simply to make quick decisions, they look disappointed. Is that all? They ask. Yes, that's all. But it requires you to completely reprogram your brain, to go against everything society has taught you, to risk loneliness rather than accept less than you deserve. Let me paint. 2 scenarios of where you will be in 5 years. Scenario 1, you ignore everything I've said. You continue doing exactly what you're doing. In 5 years, you've had maybe 2 more relationships. Both ended with her leaving you. You are older, more cynical, less attractive. You have lowered your standards even further just to avoid being alone. You are in a relationship with someone you're not even greatly attracted to, but who, at least, tolerates you. You look at other men with beautiful, passionate women and wonder what they have that you don't. You blame genetics, money, luck, anything but your own inability to make quick decisions. Scenario 2. You start today. You make the decision to never again tolerate disrespect, to never again wait for someone who is not genuinely enthusiastic about you, to never again lower your standards in exchange for company. The first year is challenging. You spend more time alone. You face more rejection because you are taking more risks. But you are learning, growing, getting stronger. In the second year, you notice that women treat you differently. They sense your power, your options, your refusal to settle for less. In the third year, you have more options than you can handle. In the fourth year, you meet someone exceptional who treats you like a king because she knows you will walk away the instant she doesn't. In the fifth year, you are living a life that your former self could not even imagine. The choice is yours, but here's the thing. Not making a choice is still a choice. Every day you postpone change is a day you have chosen to remain the same. Every moment you don't act is a moment you have chosen inaction. Every bad relationship you don't leave is a relationship you have chosen to endure. Do you want to know why some men have women fighting for their attention, while you can barely get a text back? It's not because they are more handsome. It's not because they have more money. It's because they made the decision, years ago, to never again accept less than they deserve. And they have been reaffirming that same decision every single day since. While you have been making excuses, they have been making moves. I know this is harsh. I know it sounds like a personal attack, but sometimes you need someone to grab you by the shoulders and shake you awake. You are sleepwalking through your love life, accepting whatever crumbs fall from the table, grateful for any drop of attention, and until someone tells you that you deserve more, that you can have more, that the best is available right now if you just make the decision, you will continue in this state of somnambulism until you wake up at 50, alone or trapped, wondering where your life went. The man women fear losing is not special. He is not gifted. He is not lucky. He is just decisive. He knows what he wants and accepts nothing less. He knows his own value and does not allow anyone to diminish it. He knows his time is valuable and does not waste it on uncertainties and maybes. That's it. That's the whole secret. But it's a secret that most men will never learn because they are too busy waiting for things to magically improve without them having to make any difficult decisions. Here is your homework, and 95% of you will not do it. That is why 95% of you will remain exactly where you are. The next time you feel disrespected, ignored, or devalued by a woman, whether it's someone you are dating, talking to, or trying to win, make the immediate and irrevocable decision to walk away. No explanations, no discussions. No, let's try to work it out. Simply leave. Delete her number, block her on all social media, and move on with your life. I guarantee that one of two things will happen. Either she will come running back, suddenly realizing your value and willing to do what she should have done from the beginning, or she won't come back, and you will have saved yourself months of pain and wasted time. Either way, you win. Either way, you are strengthening the quick decision-making muscle that will transform every aspect of your love life. But you won't do it. You'll make excuses. But she's different. But we have a history. But I really like her. What if no one else wants me? These excuses are the chains that keep you shackled to mediocrity. And until you are willing to break them, nothing I say will make a difference. The clock is ticking. Every day you waste in indecision is a day you can never get back. Every moment you spend with someone who doesn't value you is a moment stolen from someone who would. Every second of hesitation is a second that another man is acting. The question is not whether you understand what I'm saying. You understand. The question is whether you have the courage to act. The man women fear losing doesn't need courage because he made his choice a long time ago. He chose himself. He chose his standards. He chose quick decisions over prolonged agony. And because of that choice, he never needs to fear loneliness, rejection, or abandonment. Because when you are willing to walk away, no one wants to let you go. That is the paradox. That is the secret. That is the truth that no one wants you to know. The moment you stop needing them is the moment they start needing you. The moment you are willing to walk away is the moment they will do anything to make you stay. The moment you make quick decisions is the moment you become the man women fear to lose. Now you. No, the question is, what are you going to do about it?